everyone. This might come as a bit of a surprise to many of you, and it's going to be really interesting to hear your thoughts on this. But I am now returning to, would you believe it? Nightwish. Well, those of you who followed my journey from the very beginning, you know that my first taste of Nightwish came very early in this whole project, and to say it bluntly, I was highly unimpressed. You can find the link to that first listen here, and if you're a Nightwish fan, you'll probably hate it. If you're not a Nightwish fan, you might love it. But I decided it's time for me to return to Nightwish. It's been on my mind for a while, and Vlad told me that just a few weeks ago, very recently, Nightwish released a new single. And I thought, I had in my mind to go to one of the great ones that many of the Nightwish fans have told me I need to hear at some point. But I decided, let's put that off a little bit longer even. Let's see what their most recent release is. This is their newest single. And I am coming to it with zero expectations about Mozartian greatness. I am making sure that I don't make that mistake that I had at the beginning. Probably some of that first impression I had is because, well, if you're in the Nightwish crowd, you know how so many love to say that the composer is a new Mozart or akin to Mozart, and that really set me up as a classical musician. It set me up to expect something entirely different, and I was disappointed when I heard it. So I'm not coming to this listen with those expectations, and so it's going to be an interesting project now to listen to this, their newest release, at this point in my journey when I've heard so much music and maybe have a little better understanding of what Nightwish's genre is and what to expect from it. At the same time, I'm going to come to it as openly as I possibly can. So this piece of music is entitled Perfume of the Timeless. Let's see how it goes. Well, if that isn't an epic opening, I don't know what to call it. Well, just say straight away, we had some major storms go through last night. And so those first lightning cracks and thunder crashes were, they felt very immediate and very visceral right in the moment of, I'm standing out in the storm and maybe I need to duck for cover. It feels like the perfect music in this opening to be the soundtrack for some movie about the origins of the world, you know, creation or the beginnings of the world. It has this feeling of lightning cracking, thunder crashing, and then things happening, and you start to feel the world take shape around. And I feel like, well, I haven't gotten to the lyrics themselves, but this idea, perfume of the timeless, maybe they're trying to set up a sort of epic, you know, looking all the way back to the beginning of time. At least that's the sense I get at the beginning. All right, we're going to keep going. Now, this is interesting. It's a little bit of a technical thing. But if you listen to what's happening with the rhythms here, the cross rhythms, the fundamental setup of the music has its particular pulse. And then these other sounds, shall I say, the footsteps and the grouse beating wings, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to think of something to describe one sound or another. They're very specifically set rhythmically to create a very organized cross rhythm. So you're left wondering, all right, was that part of the music? Or was that some sound effects from something happening on a movie? And it's an interesting scenario here. Let's listen. Yes, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then you listen to what I'm going to call the footsteps. Did you hear that little ti ti ti? It's a simple musical cross rhythm, 3/4, but it feels so separated, almost as if that 3. That's why I'm calling it footsteps rather than part of the music, because it feels so separate from the main part of the piece. It feels as if maybe I should be seeing something on the screen, somebody walking, and they just happen to be walking 3s over the 4s of the music. And this typewriter, perhaps. A lot of sound effects happening here. So you need to understand what I said about. let's go back just for a moment to this section and listen to what's happening here. The little choir voices. Bum, 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 bum. And then the piano comes and points it out too. When I first heard that, I thought, okay, an episode where somebody took a little figure of descending intervals and, thought to make a little section of music about it. Oh no, it's far more than that. Because, now listen to when the voice enters. Those are the intervals. And then again. Same intervals. And then it wraps up. Same thing now in a lower range. You can hear that interval. And what kind of music puts in this kind of vocabulary? It's entertaining. It's kind of amusing to me because it's mostly ordinary English vocabulary, right? And then we have some fabulous word in here. Where did that come from? And it's like, time set for a curious ghost, lives plain and epic of eudaimonia. Well, first of all, eudaimonia, I would have pronounced it eudaimonia. But anyway, it's fine, it's fine. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe she's wrong, maybe it's whatever. But where did that word come from? Then we're back to 12 score and one chain of lives unending. Well, okay, ordinary English. And then, there was one earlier too, tesserae of the deceased. That's not a word we hear in conversational. So it kind of strikes me as a sort of, sometimes there are books written for young people where the story is interesting, it's engaging, it pulls you in, and then the author throws in some unfamiliar bit of vocabulary intentionally, not just to make the reading of it more interesting, but of course it's supposed to be developmental. It's supposed to expand the young person's vocabulary, and there are some really great series that do that. But this is kind of feeling the same way. It's like, okay, we have ordinary English, and then, by the way, guys, you're going to learn some great big words in the process of this piece of music, and have fun doing it, enjoy doing it. It's an interesting kind of mix of simple English and some big words thrown in. Well, and as I'm thinking, why throw in these big words? It's not just for the poetic flow of it, because English is a vast language. You could come up with something that's a little bit more ordinary to put there. It would sound just nice enough. But maybe they're trying to, because I don't want to diminish this. I don't want to say, oh, they're just trying to expand our vocabulary. I think there's more than that. I think probably I'm listening to this music and the grandness and the trying to give us the whole span of the time that the world's been in existence, all the way from the beginnings, however it came about, and then on through time, and the ancient worlds and kingdoms, this vast expanse, and maybe throwing in some of these, shall I say, exotic words gives the text itself a bit of that kind of grand exotic feel that we get from the music as well. Time set for a curious ghost. Bum, 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 bum. Like, it's coming, just sit here and wait and feel your heartbeat. Bum, 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 bum. And then the drum fill, and then we go on. Bum, 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 bum. And then, rather than the next verse coming in quite yet, we hear all this little frills running upwards. harp thrown in there just to give it a little bit more ancient bardic quality.
We are their air dust on their palm. We are because of a million loves.
Hold on. Whose voice is this? I don't think this is Floor's voice. It sounds like a male voice. Unless Floor surprises me and she can pull out a male voice too. Well, you Nightwish fans are going to have to tell me what's going on here. Because I doubt that it's Floor. But this is a great moment for me to just comment on her voice, because I was thinking it is. You are right. All of you who have been saying, oh, she's a fabulous singer. You are right. She does have a sort of a spin to her voice, a certain quality that makes it really carry and pulls you along with it. That is true. I wouldn't call it a warm voice. It's more of a lighter, should I say silvery voice. In fact, even more than silvery, there's a sort of a texture to it that I want to say is reminds me of a violin string. Not bowing on the violin. Run your fingers along a violin string. Perhaps a guitar string as well, although I haven't handled guitar strings so much, so I don't know if they feel the same as violin. But a violin string, or maybe even a wound string with a little bit of that texture in it, and that is what appeals to me in her voice, is that quality. Well, this is a very modern recording. There's a lot of production stuff that's going into this, and I'm no expert on the sound production end of things, but I can hear that if she were in the room singing, unmiked, unproduced, her voice wouldn't quite sound as it sounds on this recording, okay? Understood. However, I can hear that her voice would still have a sort of quality that is interesting and has a bit of substance to it, that has a lot of strength and shine to it. And I enjoy voices that have character. And so I'm enjoying her voice in that regard. This whole piece comes across as a bit, shall I say, cold, distant. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that is of course, it's meant to be epic. And so it wants us to feel that there's a grand distance to it. So of course it has to put us at arm's length and keep us there so that we see the vast timelessness. And her voice is working incredibly well in this context. So that's just what I've been kind of working my way through as I listen to this. Okay, let's finish the piece here.
We are their air dust on their palm. We are because of a million loves. We're the perfume of the timeless, last sighs on a deathbed. On their palm, we are because of a million loves. We're the perfume of the timeless, last sighs of a million loves.
there we have it. My second approach to Nightwish. And since I came to it without any sort of expectations of finding a Mozart in here, I have to say that it was a better experience. It was, and I could enjoy it for what it is. I even found some things that kind of appealed to me in one way or other. Of course, it's very organized in its construct, and it's very cleanly, well put together, all of that. Looking at the lyrics, I haven't really focused on those much, but it seems like it is attempting to put us in our place, isn't it? You know, we are their heir, dust on their palm, because of a million loves. It's looking at our whole ancestry, and it's saying, this is who we are. We are the perfume of the timeless. We are last sighs on a deathbed. We are, because of a million loves, this idea that we are here because of all that came before us. And something about it just reminded me of this line from Joni Mitchell's Woodstock when she says, we are stardust. And it feels almost like a modern take on that line, a sort of expansion of that line, putting a little bit more earthily. This is not stardust, but still, it has that sort of magic quality to it. The perfume of the timeless. What a thought. You are the perfume of the timeless. You are the fragrance of all that has come before. It makes you stop and think, and you think about so many things. It kind of puts you in your place, makes you feel very small and very, very, you're not the center of the universe, but at the same time, it makes you feel precious. It makes you feel something beautiful about your existence, the fact that you exist. There's something so grand about how you arrived here. And it's not explaining why you're here, but it simply says you're here. And being here, you are the perfume of the timeless, of all that came before. And in you, all that came before still has a presence. And that's a lovely thought. And in fact, it's a very tender, special thought, isn't it? And Nightwish has set it to this grand, epic storytelling music. And yes, I stand by my original assertion from way back when that this sounds like a movie soundtrack, Disney music, as I said back then. And yes, it does. It has that quality. And as many of you have told me since then, well, naturally, because he loves Disney music and he loves the movie soundtrack quality. And this is a really good depiction in sound of what we might imagine seeing on screen. And that is a good soundtrack quality. It's knowing that he admires and enjoys that, it suddenly makes sense, and it's great in that regard. So there we have my second listen to Nightwish, Perfume of the Timeless. And who knows, maybe at some point in the future I'll go back to one of the ones that all of you love so much and are kind of the legendary pieces, but this is my second one. I'll see you soon.